Hey, my name is Darius, and welcome back to Founders Unchained, the show where we are speaking with founders, builders, and innovators what it takes to build a startup from scratch. And today we have a special guest, Emmanuel Aldeguer, who is actually CEO and founder of Axone. And thank you very much for joining this episode, and let's get into the details.
Thank you, Darius. It's a pleasure for me to be invited. And really, it's a long time we know each other. And I am very happy that you launched this podcast and very, very proud to be invited. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining. Emmanuel, can you introduce yourself, who you are, and what your business does?
Sure. So I'm Emmanuel Aldeguer. I am 53 now. I'm working in the blockchain industry since 2019. I really discovered the blockchain technology and I really appreciated all the new possibilities offered by this decentralization and the fact that you can manage things without intermediaries and without a third trust party. And the thread of my career has always been technology, data-driven marketing. And I had an issue in my last position for data sharing. And the mix of this issue and the frustration that it provoked and also the intuition that blockchain could solve my issue, I start to think about how could we build a protocol who would be able to allow people to share any kind of digital resource under any composable conditions. And that's why the start of the incredible journey of Axone. You are talking about business, but Axone is actually is not a business. It's a real protocol for the community, and it's a protocol for developers. It's a fully decentralized protocol. Now we are live on our own blockchain. Please, if you are a developer, help yourself and use the protocol to allow to share any kind of digital resource. And now what is very interesting is that with the, let's say, the rise of AI and specifically about with the rise of agents, Axone is a great protocol to allow agents to coordinate themselves and to allow agents to discover themselves and to negotiate among themselves thanks to the huge progresses of MCP and all this protocol. Axone is a great semantic layer to help agents to discover by themselves and to coordinate. And it's very interesting. A lot of things are happening. I'm not the CEO of Axone. I'm the president of the association who is promoting Axone. And Axone is really an open source protocol dedicated for developers. Definitely, I'm a founder. Actually, I'm also a business owner because now the purpose of our action is to be able to build application and to build business on the top of Axone. And this is specifically what we are doing now with a project named Dataionix. It's a B2B project dedicated to share images of Earth observation. And it's a B2B. This is very great to use a Web3 protocol in the B2B environment.
When was the first, day when you started this business?
We started to think about Axone in 2019. We had a long period of ideation because definitely the technology was not mature enough. So we made a lot of tries, with Ethereum at the beginning. And then we discovered the Cosmos environment and the Cosmos SDK. So we decided to build our own blockchain on the Cosmos SDK. So it asked a lot of time and a lot of, tries and failure and ups and downs. And also, as it's a pretty young business, the Web3 is existing since, we can say since the invention of Bitcoin. So it's less than 20 years. And we also discover, the business and the new usages and everything. So it asks a lot of time to reach what we achieved in last July. That means that the launch of the protocol on his mainnet.
So I'm basically curious to understand, what is your background, and what you did previously before you even started this?
This is a very good question. I'm definitely an entrepreneur. So I started my career in the late 90s, and it seems crazy because when I start working, I enter in the big companies, and as I was the marketing manager, I was the only person on 250 employees to have access to the internet. So because I was the marketing and as I was the marketing, I had the right to surf on the web, and this was crazy, it was just the beginning of the emails. And so I was working in the press industry, in the media and the press magazine industry. And I was helping a publisher to develop their sales on the shops. So it was really the beginning of my career. It seems crazy when you think about that now, because when we are talking with, I don't know, Z Gen, people think that Google always existed, but it's not the case. And when I start at the beginning of the web, you had like books of list of websites to search the website on books, actually.
Okay.
Because Google didn't exist. And it was pretty interesting. And as it was the beginning of the internet when I started working my career, I was definitely already interested by tech and by the potentiality of the internet, of the web. And I started a business in 2000. I was consultant for editors and publishers. And then I changed also the environment. I passed to the industry. I work in agriculture. And always the thread of my career has always been data-driven marketing. I was always making marketing upon data. And finally in 2019, I had this big frustration that how can we get more value from data sharing? And this is where I start thinking about Axone.
For a majority of people, it will be interesting to hear also, what is the background and what is the moment actually when people started to do things. And to me, when I look to the pitch decks, I see brilliant concepts, new projects, new ideas. And sometimes, I'm just so surprised how people, especially like you, for example, many, many years ago, that thing, what you are doing now, it was like invention, So you are building something from scratch and nobody knows how it works, but you still have, this capacity and motivation to start doing things, but nobody knows on how to do it, So it's impressive.
Yeah. You have to like to discover things and to test and try things. You have to not be afraid about the risk and to not be afraid about failing, because of course in that kind of adventure you have definitely ups and downs, and no one is always successful or failure. There is always ups and downs, and you have to face to these situations, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. The bravest people can do things, so basically it's not necessary for you to have a knowledge at the beginning, especially when you are becoming pioneer in the market, when you're building something new from scratch, new technology, let's say. But the most important thing is actually to be, brave enough to do it and do not afraid, to start.
You're talking about knowledge. It's very interesting because, it's important to don't know, because when you don't know that it's impossible. So you are trying. As soon as you know more things, so you are taking less risk, I think.
Yeah,
it's because I was knowing nothing about blockchain that I think, maybe there is something to do, that I start the research. And I think this is important to not be afraid. And the less you know, the less afraid you are.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Emmanuel, can you tell me who is the ideal client to you and who is supposed to use your technology?
So this is a very tough and good question. Yeah, definitely we are promoting, and we just invented a brick of technology, a feature. And so in that sense, we are not considering that we have clients, because we are not selling this feature. We are proposing this feature to the people, and they are free to use it. The spirit that we have is the same of the spirit of the first people who built something on the web. And we are just promoting this to the people. We are not selling it, so we don't have clients, and we are promoting this to developers who would like to develop applications, who would like to use, swarm of agents to facilitate the coordination of agents, because definitely this is what Axone is doing. And we are not making business on it. On Dataionix is a business. Dataionix, it's a company who is selling an API of search and download of Earth observation images. And in this API, when you are using this API, you can also use Axone to create zone and to facilitate and aggregate the sharing of your data from Earth observation images. So this is a very business. Axone is definitely not a business. It's once again, it's a protocol, open source and decentralized, that I hope that more and more developers will use to make great application and to invent great business and to make their own business.
Okay, thanks. So I think it will be beneficial for our, viewers of this episode to hear this, and maybe we can also go and check the Axone, what you do, guys, and maybe we can also try to use your ecosystem. I really would like to ask you, is it your first initial venture, or you also had a chance to try another business?
No, I tried many businesses, and actually I was able to launch the journey of Axone because I had a great exit in a previous business. I had a company, it was in industry, so I was the president of a company who was selling and installing pipes for district heating. So it was not at all technological. It was very industrial, but we were always developing new features. Our employees were welders, they were welding pipes and so on, but you had also to make drawings and to have the blueprints and everything was on tablets. I remember we were very on the edge of the technology because our employees, they were using tablets, they were using cell phones. There were no paper, and it was quite innovative in this industry.
Okay.
That's why I was able to sell this company. So I had 2 or 3 good adventures. As I start in the press and media, I was also a publisher. I was the publisher and the editor of a magazine in agriculture for farmers. So I had a lot of entrepreneurship adventures.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to hear that, all those industries were, different comparing with each other. So right now you are in blockchain business, you was publisher, and you was doing something else. So it looks like, you always was trying to do something new. So you like challenges, I believe, as a person, right?
First of all, my aim is to do what I want and to be free. So this is really one of the highest value for me, to be free. And second thing is to try things and to try to build things and to make things. I didn't succeed all the time, but this is why this is a great adventure and this is fun.
Did you have any mentors or people you believed in and actually who helped you a lot building a business?
Yeah, definitely. And I think we had a great experience with a great VC funds, which is Aldeguer Ventures. And we had the chance to be part of their cohort. And they did a great job. I mean, the cohort they organized, we were with other projects. We worked a lot for 12 weeks. It was very, very intense. And we had great mentors, Aldeguer Ventures, a bunch of mentors, and we had mentorships for all these 12 weeks. And it was great, really. We met great people. And also, Jamie Burke, the CEO of Aldeguer Ventures, contribute and participate a lot. And yeah, it was definitely very, very important and very interesting for us. This was also for us the opportunity to contribute and to participate to the post-web thesis, which is a thesis proposed by Aldeguer Ventures. And it was really, really very interesting. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and speaking about other like venture capitals, who are your backers, let's say, did you get any support from those guys? Because I know we're giving you money and following you later on and just pressing you. I know that this is like real story. Some of the startups we say that we're being pushed by venture capitals, but rarely I can hear that venture capitals helps startups. So is in your case, let's say, a venture capital helped you also with their support, let's say, opening the gates to the network, what we have to other co-investors. Maybe we share some portfolio companies with you, with whom you can build the partnerships and so on. Did you get this kind of support?
Yes, definitely. What is important is that when you are a project owner and when you are looking for funds, you must know that, of course, it's important to get fund, but also it's when you are choosing your partners, they are not only financial, and it's interesting to have partners who are not only financial, who can help you, and this is what we found in Aldeguer Ventures. We had the chance to have, let's say, 2-3 funds. We have Aldeguer Ventures, we have Axone Ventures. Axone Ventures was a great help, and we are still in contact today, and they are still very precious to us. So yeah, it's very important to have the good partners, not only to get finance, but also to get advisors, to open new doors, on the market, which is very, very important.
Your company seems doing well. So I'm just curious, in your opinion, what is your secret sauce?
I mean, I don't know if we are doing well because we are, once again, we are not a company. We are an association. So we're just promoting the protocol. So we will do well when the protocol will be used by a lot of developers and a lot of applications. This is for sure. But yeah, I mean, the secret sauce is perseverance. You have to continue and to strongly believe in what you are doing, to continue to do it. If you stop believing in what you are doing, it's better changing something and do something else. Is the secret sauce. There's a strong belief in what you are doing.
In this case, I believe you already have market fit and you have developers who is already using your protocol. So I think this is one of the things what is really important, that you have something to offer to the market, what is really needed.
Yeah, but today probably not enough because we still have a lot of work to do to have a huge penetration on the market and to make people discover and use the protocol. This is our real challenge right now. Let's say that we spent 5 years to build the protocol. Now the protocol is built and we have to, let's say, promote it and make it used by people. And we consider that we'll succeed when the protocol will have his own life by his own, and that the protocol doesn't need me anymore to promote it. And this will be the end of the journey. So we still have a lot of work to do.
Why do you think most startups are failing, and what separates them from the ones who not?
Luck.
Is it all we need?
No. I think luck is a big part of succeed or failure, but also is that the founders are deciding that it's a failure, because when your project is a failure, that means that you are stopping it. We are still working on this project. We are still continuing to believe in this project. So as long as this is the case, it's not a failure. Of course, maybe, we are not earning as much money as we want or as we expected, but this is just a journey. The founders are deciding when it's a failure and when it's a success, because they are deciding to quit and to give up. And it's okay, it's important, because sometimes maybe you made mistakes, maybe you didn't go in the good direction. So it's better to stop and to go backward and then to find another way to go forward and to continue your journey. There is no secret sauce to know what is the difference between the one who are succeeding and the one who are failing. You are deciding if you are failing or not, because you decide to quit. That's it.
That's a good answer. But when you do business, you have pressure, so you need to find people, you need to manage people, you need to get revenues, and so on, so on, so on. So I know that this is stressful, and I'm just curious to understand how founders basically finding the ways how to refresh themselves, how to reset, to get more energy for the next day to survive. So do you have any specific, let's say, activities or hobbies, what actually you do on a daily basis, what helps you?
Sure. So definitely sport is very important. You have to take care of your health, your mental health, your body health. It's definitely, this is very important. When you are in good health, you can have thousands of problems. When you are in bad health, you have only one problem, which is your health. Yeah. And this is very bad. So it's very important to take care of yourself. To go for a walk, for example, it's very important to go for a walk once a day, and also to make sports. Personally, I'm making a lot of yoga. I'm still playing basketball despite my old age, so I'm still a basketball player.
Cool, great to hear. I noticed that this is like rule number one. The most successful founders I know, when we also say that you need to have this training or sport in your routine on a daily basis, just because it's so important. So I'm not surprised that you said that you are very into the sports, just because it helps. And myself are also running every single day, trying to do at least 5 kilometers a day. That helps me a lot too. And what keeps you motivated when things don't go as planned?
You just have to accept that things are not going all the time in the way you want. And facing problems is also a way to feel alive. I have to confess that I have the chance to have a great family. I have kids. I have a great wife who is supporting me. I have the chance to have good health kids also. They are very nice, and this is helping a lot,
If you could share one piece of advice, for the early founders, what would it be?
I think it's to don't hesitate to do things, and at the same time to don't hesitate to make mistakes. If you're not making mistakes, that means that you are doing anything. So it's important. So don't be afraid to make mistakes and to do things. I think, I was discussing yesterday with a founder. We're just starting from scratch. He has just an idea, and I think it's important to write a lot of things. To make things on the paper, to write it down, and to like that, of course, you are keeping it, and then of course you can make it, your thought evolves on concrete elements. This was my advice yesterday to this founder, that he has to write down his idea and to start to make his pitch, pitch deck, really write it down and to have the same version all the time and to make it evolves and yeah.
Majority of the teams I know basically we disappear after a couple of months started working on the project. So I'm just curious to understand how people who will be starting, who will be building the startup, how we can know that this is right founder or co-founder to the team.
First of all, to discuss, you are never sure. It's very complicated to. It's like to have another couple. Probably you are spending more time with your co-founders than with your wife. So you are never sure. So you have to trust. I mean, trust is very important. But also sometimes you have to accept that you may make mistakes. And for example, I already had a situation where I had to be separated from my co-founder. And yeah, the separations of co-founders is something difficult to manage, and you don't have to forget your goal and for what you are fighting for. Let aside the personal issue, I mean, because what you are building, even with your co-founder, if you even at the point you are hating your co-founder, you have to keep this aside and know for what you are fighting for. And if you are fighting for your project, or if you are fighting for your personal ego and that you want to win, absolutely, and so on. So this is the question that you have to ask yourself: for what I'm fighting for, and suddenly things are clearest.
Okay. Can we come back to the moment when you actually was raising capital, and you said Outlier Ventures, Axone. So how many investors you have in your cap table?
We didn't sell equity; we sell tokens. So we have more than 500 investors between business angels and VCs. Of course, we have only 4 VCs. There is Outlier Ventures, the biggest one. There is Axone Ventures. There is Mosaic Ventures, Neptune Finance. The rest are business angels and individuals.
Can you just explain, what does it mean freedom to you? Is it like financial freedom, or is freedom to innovate and create things?
Well, it's both, I mean, if you want to innovate and create things, definitely you need means. And also because I'm not doing things by my own, I'm not a developer. So you need to hire people, you need to pay them for the job they can do. So definitely you need some financial independence. But it's not everything. I think the money is not making everything. Intention of what you do is very important. You have to know exactly what are your intention. And then you can do things, of course. With Axone, for example, we have great backups, for like investors and so on. Of course, if we had more means, we could do probably better. But I mean, it's important to do with the means that you have. And I think we are going pretty well right now.
I think it's also interesting to understand, what was that day when you decided actually to start. I'm not speaking about, the year or month, but do you remember that day that you said to yourself that, I'm ready to do it, let's do it? Do you remember this day?
Yes, exactly. 18th of May 2018, I was reading a book about blockchain. And I remember at that time, I called one of my friends who was a tech guy. And I say, hey, I have an idea. Can we do this with the blockchain? Can we think about how to share data in a better way thanks to blockchain? And the guy said, hey, it's a pretty good idea. Let's see. Since that day, we start working. I was working at that time, so it was a part-time job, like my hobby, to make some research and to read a lot and to discover. At that time, it was also the moment. It was the end of the ICO moment, the ICO bubble by the end of 2018. But then after, in September 2018, there were no more ICO, the bubble had exploded. So it was, let's say, more struggling to find finance and to get funded. It took almost 1 year to succeed to get funded. And that's why we start the business and the association in 2019.
Okay, so basically, as I understand, you were supporting your business with your own money at the beginning. It was, I believe, tough. Majority of people who actually approaching me were building from scratch. So we have no money, just only idea. And those guys, we believe that we can get millions, in a week or two or months. But, you as already have experience, myself, I have experience. I know that it's not really easy sometimes to get capital. So you need to grind a lot, to be able to get the first initial investment to the business. If you had like zero money in your account, would you be starting this project anyway or not?
Somehow I will find a way to get the money to be able to start the project somehow. If I have zero money, the first job would be to find some cash to be able to start the project.
In your opinion, is it a good strategy to go to venture capitals at the beginning, or it's better to search for other type of investors like business angels?
If you have already worked with a VC and that it was well, you can go and see them again and say, hey, I have a new idea, can you finance me? It works, can work. But if you have no trust, it's more complicated to go to see VCs first. They will always tell you that you need traction, that you need revenue, that they have to mitigate their risk. VCs are watching this, hearing this podcast, they will not be happy, but a lot of VC, and specifically in Web3, are not doing their job. They are just following the FOMO and they are not making their due diligence properly. It's difficult to be a good VC, a lot of Web3 VCs are not deploying anymore. When I'm talking about VCs, I'm talking about the small ones who were existing after 2022, because it was very easy. You had a little bit of cash and it was very easy to raise fund and to create a VC fund in Web3. But this is not an easy business, and a good idea is not enough. You need to have traction, you need to make your proof. It's very, very tough and difficult to raise money.
And I agree with you that, for example, for venture capitals, it's also becoming hard moments, let's say, just because I remember last bull run in the crypto space, the guys were making like 100x, return on investments. But right now, I think the narrative and the landscape is changed. So venture capitals were not expecting to receive 100x anymore. Crypto market is becoming more stable right now and more institutional investors coming to place. So it's not the same time like it used to be previously. So we cannot expect to get really high return on investment than it used to be.
Yeah, exactly. And talking about crypto in the wide sense, it's mixing a lot of different assets. Because in crypto, you have NFTs, which is art. You have meme coin, which is nothing. You have utility token, and then you have Bitcoin. The class of assets is very, very wide. I think it's difficult to treat the crypto market as a whole today. And furthermore, that now you have, more than 2 million tokens who are existing on the market, which is a lot. I just remember in 2022 or 2020, we had only 10,000 tokens existing. Today you can create hundreds and thousands of tokens in one day, just like that. So I think the market is completely different, definitely.
Yeah. Basically, building your business, it's impossible to work without struggles. So have you ever been broke or close to giving up?
You have always ups and downs, of course, definitely. If I thought about to give up, yes, of course, because we had difficult times. It was difficult to get funded. So at the beginning, we had a lot of technological issues. And maybe, I was telling myself I was wrong. I fucked up everything and so on. But I think, once again, if you have pure intention in what you want to do, in what you want to achieve, so then after the strength is coming back and you are not giving up, it's okay to give up, but if you strongly believe in what you are doing, there is no reason to give up.
Good answer. So as I understand, you were starting this company not alone, but you had a partner. So is that was sufficient for you to have this small team, or you was always looking for some extra, co-founders, let's say, who can join the business?
This is valuable for me, okay? I don't know for the rest of the people, but for me, the entrepreneurship adventure is definitely a collective one. That means that, for me, I don't want to be alone. And I think it's important to have co-founders. It's a way to, to share ideas and to bet and to believe on the collective intelligence. And this is very, very important. Let's say, of course, it's important not to be thousands of people because it's always difficult to coordinate. But 2, 3, 4 people, it's very interesting to, and actually today in Axone teams, the co-founder, we are 6 people. and it's very important to share knowledge, to share capabilities, and for sure you are stronger if you are together. I think it's better to not be alone.
Emmanuel, it was a pleasure to meet you, and really appreciate that you joined this episode. It's really important to us, as many people will come to our YouTube channel, more followers we're going to have, and more people will get benefit and valuable information, what it takes to build something from scratch.
Yeah, thank you, Darius. It was a pleasure for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.